So today we're going to be doing another reading of my book, Kids on a Case of 10 Grand Kidnapping, read by my son. It will be Chapter 3, Part 1 that we are doing today. I hope you enjoy and hope you're all staying safe out there.
Kimberly had been put in a cellar. A chair had been lowered down and she was put in a chair and her feet were tied to its legs. The scent of rotting vegetables was overwhelming at first, but after a while she got used to the smell. She could see chunks of rotten potatoes and corn scattered across the dirt floor. A woman, who they called Jane, bought her food. The aroma of the food hit Kim's nose and reminded her she was hungry. She ate hungrily, barely tasting the roast beef and corn. Jane sat and watched her eat, so Kim asked her if she would bring her something to do. Since she was bored, the woman brought down a newspaper, a piece of paper, and a pen. Here, kid, read the paper, do the crosswords, and draw a picture. I'll sit here and watch. Thank you, Miss, Kim said. Jane, can I have a word with you? The man who called himself Clay Sparrow showed from the main floor. Coming, Jane shouted. She looked at Kim and teased, I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Kim watched as it disappeared up the ladder. Where was I?
She quickly scribbled a note.
She quickly scribbled a note on a piece of paper. It crackled noisily as she flew it up and dropped it on the dirt floor, kicking the dirt up to get it covered up. 10 minutes later, the woman returned. We'll be leaving here soon, so don't get too comfortable. She told Kim. On my way home, I took my shortcut. There was an old abandoned place along the way. I have so much dog hair. Where was I? There was an old abandoned place along the way. Took 5 minutes off my long walking time to cut across the property. No one lived here No one had lived here for a long time. And I had not seen anyone here on the property for many years, as until that day. I was walking down the alley, and I was about to walk into the yard. Then I heard voices. Just my luck, though, I thought. Someone had moved into the old junk heap. I was about to turn around. Then they started talking again. I crouched down behind a row of sweet-smelling purple lilacs. And I watched. One of them was a man, about 34, 35, with brown hair like a matted dog's. Looked mangy, I thought. I looked at him again, and I noticed his eyes stood out clear and blue. Even from a distance, I spotted a king cobra snake tattooed out below his elbow. The other person there was a woman who was just a bit younger than the mangy man, probably married, I thought. She had bright blonde hair that looked like it had been dyed. I was surprised to see that she was taller than he was. I bet he gets teased about being a shorty, I thought. And I had to stop myself from laughing. Jane, you tell the boss that I have to move locations, the man whined. The police will be on to this place right away, especially with good old guy, that good old guy on the case. He's good. He's good. He's good. You know. Girl, I mean. He's been after Scar for more than before, and he has come pretty close to nailing him. Scar says we stay put. So we stay put. Now you're darn whining. Now quit your darn whining. She snarled back harshly. Just tell him we need to move the girl, okay? Clay pleaded again. No! Why don't you tell him? She paused, rubbing her left forearm, which had a painful-looking scab on it. While you're at it, tell him that the girl has some nasty nails on her. Nasty nails? What?
Yeah, she scratched her, in other words.
Clay shifted to the other foot uneasily. That girl is money, Jane. But if we get caught with her, we don't get the 10 grand. Remember that. Scar doesn't listen to me, so you have to tell him that we must move. Just do it, he flared, as he stormed to the house, slamming the door. Fine, I will, she shouted, and then mumbled. I just like I do everything around her. When this is over, he'll be sorry. He pulled out a cool black gun and checked the load. Letting it click shut, she said to herself, he'll get this a bit. He'll get his bit. What?
He'll get his bit. In other words, he'll get what is coming to him. I'll make sure of that.
I'll make sure that. She put the gun away and walked into the house. It's probably Kim, but I have been sure. I informed Chief Grohl of this. After hearing that conversation, I was scared beyond belief. I crept out of there and ran all the way home. I was completely out of breath by the time I got home. I had to stop to slow my breathing before the entire yard. Entering the yard so that my mom wouldn't worry. Once I'd caught my breath, I nonchalantly entered the yard. As I walked into the yard, I noticed my mom in the garden on her hands and knees, pulling out weeds. It rhymes. So I strolled over to the garden. Hi, Mom, I said, and I inhaled a scent of flowers. In her garden, my mom had pink, red, and white
Amaranths.
Purple asters, purple and red, white
Delphiniums.
yellow and burgundy snapdragons. What are snapdragons?
A type of flower. Keep reading.
Orange and golden marigolds and white baby's breath surround the perimeter.
The outside of it, in other words.
The combined fragrance of these flowers was ambrosia
Ambrosia. In other
to
words,
my
it smells
nostrils.
nice.
Hey, Ty, what you want? I thought you would be in the house eating a snack. If you were asking for money again, I don't have any, she spoke.
Accusingly.
Giving him that I'm busy look. I just thought that when Kim's disappearance and everything, you would want to know when I came back. I remarked. Oh, that's good thinking, Ty. Her disappearance was on the news, and it's being talked about all over town. I noticed that they even thought to put up posters around town. She said matter-of-factly, I hope this turns into a movie. I know, that's all over school too. She looked up from her reading and made eye contact with me, which is why I must stay nearby. Sure, Mom, I said, walking away and getting back to reading. Tomorrow I'll tell my class. I'd overheard. I could tell police until I knew it was about for sure. I did have to investigate first. Lunchtime, I called my classmates around me. Who here would like to help Kim? I asked.
Enthusiastically.
And
In other words, with excitement.
And I pleased to get a cheer coming from the whole class. That's what I thought. Looking around the class, I noticed Mrs. Becker was listening as well, so I started to whisper, Now I am not totally sure.
This is about Kim.
I filled them on the details. Everyone in the class was astonished. I think it's about Kim, Ruth Travers stated boldly. What stated boldly mean?
Means she stated it with enthusiasm, like she was strongly thinking that.
Me too. I heard a few others say in agreement. So do I. I've got a plan. We need to start a group of investigators. I would get to find a meeting place and discuss our future plans, I suggested. Lots of kids lost the internet.
Interest.
And went outside. Another one of your stupid ideas, Tyler. When will you ever grow up? Ruth Travers groaned as she went outside. The only students of the memory were Ching Wong, Dave Sylvan Jr., and Corey Hatch,
Laverne Barrett,
Kurt Miller, Mary Tenson, and George Madden. Okay, so I thought more people would stay. That's it? Well, I thought that we would have more kind souls in the class, I said. You must be dumber than I thought, Andy Height, our class bully, stared bluntly from the classroom doorway. Shut up, you stupid frog face. George started to flirt, but Miss Becker gave him the look. Just scram. But George glared angrily at Andy. Andy, stop being so insulting and go outside, Miss Becker retorted. George, watch your language. She then said, glaring at George. She went back to reading a book at her desk. And Andy Height rolled his eyes at us. Then turned and walked from the room, and George still glaring after him. Ted Pescalotto was driving around
Mount Raymore,
looking at different cabins. He had specific
specific.
Orders from Scar. Find a new hideout that was within sight, not within sight, and less likely to bring about suspicion.
Yeah.
He turned into a driveway a couple miles from the main town. At the end of the driveway, he saw a small cabin surrounded by tall aspen and evergreens, completely out of sight from prying eyes. Perfect, he thought. He took a moment to enjoy the fresh scent of the forest. Pasquale had always liked forests, and never seen his dad had taken him camping when he was 5. Ever since his dad taken him camping when he was 5 years old. It had been the best time of his life until his dad rolled their pickup truck. They had been on their way home from the campground when the deer had darted in the front of the vehicle. Dad was served to miss the deer. It rolled over the edge of a short cliff. Little Ked had survived the crash, but his dad had died. His mother tried to raise him alone, but she'd always seemed to resent.
Resent.
What does that mean?
Blame or despise.
Him for what had happened. He eventually decided to run away at the age of 13 and got involved in gangs. He met Scar when he was 18 and looked important
The opportunity
to go to Scar's wing, under Scar's wing. Scar taught him what it meant to be a big-time gang organization. It led him to a variety of crimes and later developing and deal in the slave trade.
Slave trade.
What is that?
That's where you're selling people for work.
As he pulled up in the front of the cabin, Pasqualado saw an old man pulling a screen door out of the back of the small red truck. Pasqualado backed up his vehicle to the driveway entrance and shut off his car. Get out! He stuck his gun in the back of his waistband and walked quietly back up the driveway. By the time he reached the end, the old man was struggling up the steps of the door. He continued creeping forward until he reached the man's pickup, hiding discreetly behind the truck. Pasqualado watched the man. The man went inside the cabin and came out with an electric drill right in his hand and a bag of screws in his left. He sent the bag and the drill down the steps and picked up a screen door, leaning against the door that was there. He lifted his drill and stuck 6 screws between his lips. Lining up the holes, he began to screw the first hinge in place. Pasqualado inched out from behind the truck and began creeping forward as the man worked. Then he reached the bottom of the steps, and then the man started to screw the latch into place. Pasqualado took out his gun and lifted it into the air. He stepped forward, just first step, and just as the man completed the last screw, swinging the gun downward, he landed on the back of the man and said, The chunk! Pasquale looked around to make sure no one had seen him. Then he put his gun back in waistband. He opened the door and held it open with his left foot. Then he dragged the man's limp body through the doorway and into the house. Looking around, he saw a stairway at the end of the hall. He dragged the man to it and down the stairs into the basement. Setting the man down in the far corner, he pulled out a wooden chair and sat the man down upon it. He went back upstairs and found a length of rope in the hall closet. He took it downstairs and tied the man's feet to the two front legs of the chair, pulling the ropes, making sure it was secure. He tied the man's hands behind his back to the back of the chair. Get out of that, old man, and I will kill you. Yeah, that old man, and I will kill you, he said loud to the man's still unconscious body.
Thank you for watching and listening to my son read this book. Tomorrow we will have another installment, the last part of chapter 2.
Also, it's getting
3.
really, really good.
Yes,
I'm loving it.